So you guys have heard the narrative of the cosmic flash. You guys have heard the narrative of a great illumination, right? There's a story of 3 days of darkness. Some people say it's 10 days, whatever, it doesn't matter. There's the point is that there's an idea of something with light and dark that's going to happen that's going to be the big turning point for humanity. So, and I've seen signs of this. Now I see things on like in the perspective of timeline potentials. For me personally, I have this really strong sense that I am constantly integrating and floating through different kinds of timelines. Like just recently, I had the sense of many, many timelines consolidating together into one more cohesive harmonic. And so for me, timelines are extremely malleable, and time is extremely malleable. So it's not something that I don't feel imprisoned by the idea of being on a timeline and say like that. Okay, neither should you, because your body, your physical body is a multidimensional temple, and it has a lot of capacities that we have yet to wake up to. But once we do, right, then we're truly unstoppable. So let me get back to the story. So there's been signs, there's been synchronicities, there's been hints that mass illumination is inevitable for many of the timelines of humanity. And that mass illumination could be a cosmic flash. That means like a massive supernova that washes through. That could be our sun having massive solar flare activity, emitting a pulse. That could be the inner sun having a massive illuminative pulse. And then there's this wording that kind of is complementary to all those ideas that talks about a cosmic illumination. Now, I've had some very interesting experiences in my life, but it wasn't until I was listening to that dear brother Franco Romero on Emilio's podcast did it all just kind of like come together in that moment. And what was going on was, what has happened, let's say it like that. We've been in Lightbody, we work with Dreamtime, but we also work with exospecies relationships, which includes the natural world, the Fey realm, the elemental realm. Now, the elemental realm is a vast, vast kingdom with many, many different kingdoms within it. Okay, so when you think about Inner Earth, the stories that of all the different things that are interdimensionally within our planet, underneath the crust, right? Lots and lots and lots of stories. Inner Earth, Agartha, just to name a few, but there are many, many indigenous stories that talk about the beings that actually come up from the surface under the earth and stuff like this. And this is essentially the ant people and other beings. There's many other beings besides the ant people. So there's crystal beings, there's all these different kinds of entities and realities that they exist in. And the Fey reality, the Fey realm is vast. So I would put Sasquatch within the scope of the Fey, not the Fey realm, but the elemental realm. And then you have the orgs and fairies and all these mythological creatures into also the category of Fey. So the Fey realm, many of the Fey realm claim roots in the Pleiades. And there's a beautiful story told by Immortal Master Almin that was conveyed that only a portion of the Pleiadian elemental beings incarnated into this reality as Fey beings. And there's been a lot of crossover between human and Fey for many generations. So there's also that kind of intermingling going on as well. My point in that is that these realms are coming together. Our work that we do with Lightbody is intended to merge the realms, unite the realms again, so we can, our realities overlap, because there's a lot of healing, there's a lot of miraculous things that take place when these realms reunite. Coming home is a very powerful thing. So literally magic can happen, mass healing can happen, mass awakening can happen. And this is part of what the elemental realm has been telling us. They want us to continue to integrate our lifestyle in with nature so we can have a graceful waking up. And one of the phenomena, so come in the Sasquatch. The Sasquatch are kind of like ambassadors for the human race because they share our DNA. Now, there's lots of indigenous story I can refer to that tells me that, but they also in their story tell us that. So it's in the record, it's in the historical record, the verbal historical record, that we share DNA with the Sasquatch. So we were made from not the Neanderthal man, we were made from a Sasquatch being. Okay, so and what they so because they are literally our brothers and sisters, they call us little brothers and sisters. They are the perfect beings to be the ambassador for our helping rehabilitate us to coming home to ourselves so we can unite within the realms. And some of the experiences that people have on these campouts, and it's not just us. I mean, there's other really profound humans out there that facilitate this thing for people, but it's all word of mouth. You have to know them. You have to be invited. It's there's a bit of a process for some people, and other people it just drops right in their lap because they're a frequency match. So take that for what it's worth. Anyway, one of the experiences that have happened to several people is being in a dark space and having this unexplainable glow in the tent. And it's, for some people, they would see it as a face or an orb or just this or something their eyes can't actually see, but they just have a profound sense of a glow. Now, I've had experiences with this glow as well. Well, recently I had it, and it wasn't actually around me. It was something inside. It was actually coming from within me, which was new. That's the first time it happened like that. Because in the past, how it's been is like when I was in dark room, I would experience these illuminations, and it would be something that I would see travel outside of me. Like I would be laying down or sitting or whatever, and I'll notice the room becomes a glow with this beautiful radiant glowing light, and there's a sense of it moving, by. The last time it happened, it was actually something inside. I actually was looking around. I was looking because I was my tent. I love my tent. It has these blackout things, and it's pitch black in my tent, which I love. And but this glow was happening, and I'm looking around like, for a second thinking I had a light going. But really, when I realized it was my own inner illumination, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Anyway, it is what struck me in that conversation that he was having with Emilio is that it was when he was talking about the cosmic illumination, because he's saying the great illumination in his estimate and how he sees it is not the sun blowing up or any CMEs. It's an actual a full cosmic illumination, and the illumination is total. It's a total illumination, which means all that we would experience around us in this illumination is light. And that once that happens, that is the turning point. For those people who are attuned and in a frequency match, right? Your sympathetic resonance, like I was talking about with the suns, right? The sympathetic resonance is going to continue with that reality, which is not any different than this one in a lot of ways. It doesn't have the system programming, but it's, it still has like tables, chairs, sits down. We have a separation experience, just not in a way where we forget ourselves. And then there's some souls that will choose that are not in resonance with that, and they're going to end up experiencing the reality the way they're going to experience it. Now, this is really hard for people to understand because you think about, what? You mean leaving your body? You mean leaving this planet? No, you're still here on this planet. It's just what is on this planet is more than what we realize. There are many layers and dimensions, many realities, timelines, versions, all this stuff layered on top of each other, sharing the same time and space with us right now. Okay? It's about what frequency you're living in, what the level of acceptance of your divinity, you know what I mean, which is your presence, which is your frequency. It depends on that. So I hope this helps everybody feel better, in the sense that all this hard work that you've been doing throughout your life is going somewhere, and it's not about, it's not about changing the world necessarily, though it does have its impact. It's more about, from the elemental perspective, what I see happening is that they've been titrating us into this light. So when we do make when we do get exposed to the intensity, we have a graceful movement with it versus a harder one. Because if it's too much of a jarring, our biosuits struggle with that. So that's the most recent thing about the cosmic illumination. It's not a going out with a whimper or a bang kind of idea, which is what is alive in our 4D field right now and fed by lots of sources, including our media and movies and all that stuff. It doesn't have to be that way at all.